What's good, everybody? Welcome back. It's been a good little while. Well, at least for me, anyway. I don't know what happened. I just took a break. Said whatever. We back on it though. But of course, you know, Raphael and I hate people, and we're back again today for eighth episode of the Bible. We left off on where did we leave off? Let's see. We left off on chapter 32. Let's see. We were talking about I think we were talking about Jacob and his wives. Let's do a quick recap, shall we? We only did like 2 chapters. Let's do a quick recap. Okay, so let's see. Rachel saw that she was not bearing Jacob any children. Okay, so Jacob had 2 wives, Leah and Rachel. Okay, so Rachel saw that she was not bearing Jacob any children. So she then said, "Here is Bilhah, my servant. Sleep with her so that she can bear children for me." Of course, Jacob did that. And her servant had a son. Rachel named him Dan, Dan. And then she had another one, and Rachel named him Naphtali. I'm gonna say Naphtali because it's Tali. Naphtali, something like that. Anyway, when Leah saw that she had stopped having children, she took her servant Zilpah, Zilpah, and gave her to Jacob as a wife. And she had kids. A son named God, or whatever, Gad, not God. And another named Asher, or Asher, Asher. During wheat harvest, Reuben, remember Reuben was Leah's, was it Leah's? Yeah, Leah's firstborn. Reuben is a he, by the way. Reuben went out into the fields and found some mandrake plants brought to his mother Leah. Rachel said to Leah, "Please give me some of your son's mandrakes." Rachel like tripping. She said, I said, did I say Rachel or Leah? Either way, Leah said you tripping. She said, wasn't it enough you took away my husband? Like she really salty right now. But anyway, Rachel said he can sleep with you tonight in return. So they made a little trade. According to Leah, she Rachel sold Jacob to her. So yeah. So Jacob came to Leah, slept with her, and she became pregnant. Bore Jacob a 5th son named Issachar, Issachar. Then a 6th son, named him Zebulun, Zebulun. Sometime later, she gave birth to a daughter named Dinah, Dinah. Let's see what else we got. Then God remembered Rachel, and she gave birth to, and they be having some kids. But Rachel gave birth to Joseph. So we're getting close to the story of Joseph. After Rachel gave birth to Joseph, Jacob said to Laban, "Send me on my way home. I want to go home now." Laban said, "Please stay. The Lord has blessed me because of you. Name your wages and I will pay." Laban don't want him to leave. He want to keep these blessings. I don't blame him. But Jacob was like, "Don't give me nothing. I just want to go home, son." But if you would do this one thing for me, I will go on tending your flocks and watching over them. Let me go through your flocks and remove every speckled, spotted sheep, every dark-colored lamb, and every spotted or speckled goat. So I guess he's like trying to filter out the animals. Look, I really didn't understand this part. I'm gonna be real with you, but we gonna go through it again. So basically he's saying, you do this for me, I'll do this for you. Any goat in my possession that is not speckled or spotted, any lamb that is not dark colored will be considered stolen. So if you find me with anything that I didn't say I will remove, I stole it, and you can do what you will. I'll take that charge. Laban said agreed. That same day though, Laban removed all the male goats, streaked or spotted, and all the speckled or spotted female goats, and all the dark-colored lambs, and he placed them in the care of his sons. He put a 3-day journey between him and Jacob. 3-day journey, I kind of don't know what that means. They travel somewhere. I don't know. All the while, Jacob continued to tend to the rest of Laban's flock. Jacob, however, was up to something himself. Ha ha! He took fresh cut branches from trees and made white stripes. He made white stripes on them by peeling the bark and exposing the white inner wood of the branches. So I guess he peeled in a striped pattern some of the branches or whatever. I don't know what this means, but that's what he did. Yeah. He exposed the white inner wood of the branches. He placed the peeled branches in all the watering troughs, however you're supposed to say it. When the flocks were in heat and came to drink, they mated in front of the branches, and they bore young that were streaked or speckled or spotted. So I guess this is to, I don't know, influence the color of the newborn. I don't know what that means. I really don't. But anyway, that's what he did. He did that. And let's see what else we got. Thus he made separate flocks for himself and did not put them with Laban's animals. So he was building his own, and he grew exceedingly prosperous and came to own large flocks and female and male servants and camels and donkeys. So he still was prosperous on all that Laban left him with. Yeah. So anyway, Jacob noticed Laban's attitude toward him was not what it had been. Like his energy changing. And the Lord said to Jacob, go back to the land of your fathers. So Jacob, he took off. And let's see. Before they left though, Jacob stole her father's household gods. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that is either. But when Laban had gone to shear his sheep, Rachel stole her father's household gods. She snuck in, grabbed the shit, took out. Whatever that is. I don't know. Must not have been that big because she got away with it. But anyway, on the third day, Laban was told that Jacob had fled. Jacob left without letting anybody know. But of course, somebody saw, somebody snitched. It's been going on for millenniums, I guess. Anyway, so Laban pursued Jacob for 7 days, caught up with him in the hill country of Gilead. I still don't know if I'm saying that right. Gilead. Then God came to Laban in a dream. Be careful not to say anything to Jacob, either good or bad. So basically, leave him alone, I guess. Why did you run off? He still talked to him, so I don't know. But anyway, Laban came up to Jacob and said, why did you run off secretly and deceive me? I have the power to harm you, but last night the God of your father said to me, careful not to say anything, either good or bad. So he let that go. Then he said, but why did you steal my gods? Jacob answered, I was afraid because I thought you would take your daughters away from me by force. If you find anyone who, he said, but if you find anyone who has your gods, that person shall not live. So Jacob, knowing that he didn't take nothing and didn't order nobody to take nothing, he was confident that they didn't have anything. So he told them, hey, if you find anybody that has what you're looking for, you can kill them, do whatever. Let's see. But he didn't know Rachel stole it. And Laban went into Jacob's tent, then into Leah's tent, then the 2 female servants, found nothing. Then he entered Rachel's tent, and he still found nothing because Rachel had secretly put the gods inside her camel's saddle and was sitting on them. So it was nothing to really worry about there. But when Laban approached her as she was sitting on a camel, Rachel said, don't be angry, my lord. I cannot stand up in your presence. I'm having my period. You think they really call it period back? Well, this is the New International, so translate it. So yeah, Laban left Rachel at that. But Jacob was offended. He was angry. Asked him, what is my crime? Why? Why are you doing this? Let's see. You searched through all my stuff in front of my relatives and yours. And let's see what else we got. I did all this work for you, tended to your flocks. I didn't eat rams or anything. I was nothing but an honest worker for you. Why are you doing me like this? And then he said, you know what? If the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac had not been with me, you would surely have sent me away empty-handed. I believe that too. But Laban answered, come now, let's make a covenant. Laban was like, let's squash all this. You right. And he said, let's make a covenant. So Jacob took a stone, set it up as a pillar, took some stones, piled them up in a heap. And they ate there by the heap. Jacob called it Galeed, Galeed. There Laban said, this heap is a witness, and this pillar is a witness, that I will not go past this heap to your side to harm you, and that you will not go past this heap and pillar to my side to harm me. And of course, Jacob agreed. Early the next morning, Laban kissed his grandchildren and his daughters and blessed them and returned home. And that's where we left off. We now on chapter 32. Let's dive in. All right. Jacob also went on his way, and the angels of God met him. The angels of God met Jacob, I guess, somewhere in there. When Jacob saw them, he said, this is the camp of God. So he named that place Mahanaim, Mahanaim, Mahanaim. Mahanaim. I'm going to leave it at that. Mahanaim. Sounds good enough to me. Jacob sent messengers ahead of him to his brother Esau in the land of Seir, S-E-I-R, the country of Edom, or Edom. He instructed them, this is what you are to say to my lord Esau. Your servant Jacob says, I have been staying with Laban and have remained there till now. I have cattle and donkeys, sheep and goats, male and female servants. Now I'm sending this message to my lord, that I may find favor in your eyes. When the messengers returned to Jacob, they said, we went to your brother Esau, and now he's coming to meet you, and 400 men are with him. This man is deep. I'd be scared. Because remember, he had played Esau, and Esau was ready to kill. All right, verse 7. In great fear and distress, Jacob divided the people who were with him into two groups, and the flocks and herds and camels as well. He thought, if Esau comes and attacks one group, the group that is left may escape. Then Jacob prayed, O God of my father Abraham, God of my father Isaac, Lord, you who said to me, go back to your country and your relatives, and I will make you prosper. I am unworthy of all the kindness and faithfulness you have shown your servant. I had only my staff when I crossed this Jordan, but now I have become two camps. Save me, I pray, from the hand of my brother Esau. Save me, I pray, from the hand of my brother Esau. Okay. For I am afraid he will come and attack me, and also the mothers with their children, and also the mothers with their children. 12. But you have said, I will surely make you prosper and will, excuse me. But you said, I will surely make you prosper and will make your descendants like the sand of the sea, which cannot be counted. 13. He spent the night there, and from what he had with him, he selected a gift for his brother Esau: 200 female goats and 20. He had that many. 200 female goats and 20 male goats. 200 ewes, EWES. I don't know. And 20 rams. 30 female camels with their young, 40 cows and 10 bulls, and 20 female donkeys and 10 male donkeys. He put them in the care of his servants, each herd by itself, and said to his servants, Go ahead of me and keep some space between the herds. He instructed the one in the lead, when my brother Esau meets you and asks, who do you belong to and where are you going? And who owns all these animals in front of you? Then you are to say, they belong to your servant Jacob. They are a gift sent to my lord Esau, and he is coming behind us. He also instructed the second, the third, and all the others who followed the herds. You are to say the same thing to Esau when you meet him. And be sure to say your servant Jacob is coming behind us, for he thought I will pacify him with these gifts I am sending on ahead. Later, when I see him, perhaps he will receive me. So Jacob's gifts went on ahead of him, but he himself spent the night in the camp. Okay, so he's trying to make amends, I guess. 22. That night Jacob got up and took his 2 wives, his 2 female servants, and his 11 sons, and crossed the ford of the Babok, Babok. 23. After he had sent them across the stream, he sent over all his possessions. So Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him till daybreak. Till daybreak. He was left alone, and a man wrestled with him till daybreak. I'm going to keep reading. 25. When the man saw that he could not overpower him, he touched the socket of Jacob's hip, so that his hip was wrenched as he wrestled with the man. Then the man said, Let me go, for it is daybreak. But Jacob replied, I will not let you go unless you bless me. What? Whatever. The man asked him, What is your name? Jacob, he answered. Then the man said, Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel. Whoa. Keep reading. Because you have struggled with God and with humans and have overcome. Jacob said, Please tell me your name. But he replied, Why do you ask my name? Then he blessed him there. So Jacob called the place Peniel, Peniel, saying, It is because I saw God face to face, and yet my life was spared. The sun rose above him, and he passed Peniel, and he was limping because of his hip. Therefore, to this day, the Israelites do not eat the tendon attached to the socket of the hip, because the socket of Jacob's hip was touched near the tendon. Okay. Let's see. I'm a little lost on that whole, he renamed the man. Did he know who he was? Like, I'm gonna just keep reading. I'm lost. Uh, let's see. Chapter 33. Jacob looked up, and there was Esau coming with his 400 men. So he divided the children among Leah, Rachel, and the 2 female servants. He put the female servants and their children in front, Leah and her children next, and Rachel and Joseph in the rear. He himself went on ahead and bowed down to the ground 7 times as he approached his brother. But Esau ran to meet Jacob and embraced him. He threw his arms around his neck and kissed him, and they wept. Then Esau looked up and saw the women and children who are there with you, he asked. Jacob answered, They are the children of God. They are the children God has graciously given your servant. Then the female servants and their children approached and bowed down. Next, Leah and her children came and bowed down. Last of all came Joseph and Rachel, and they too bowed down. Esau asked, What's the meaning of all these flocks and herds I met? To find favor in your eyes, my lord, he said. But Esau said, I already have plenty, my brother. Keep what you have for yourself. No, please, said Jacob. If I have found favor in your eyes, accept this gift from me. For to see your face is like seeing the face of God. Now that you have received me favorably, please accept the present that was brought to you. For God has been gracious to me, and I have all that I need. And because Jacob insisted, Esau accepted it. Then Esau said, Let us be on our way. I'll accompany you. But Jacob said to him, My Lord knows that the children are tender, and that I must care for the ewes and cows that are nursing their young. If they are driven hard just one day, all the animals will die. So let my Lord go on ahead of his servant while I move along slowly at the pace of the flocks and the herds before me, and the pace of the children, until I come to my Lord in Seir. Esau said, Then let me leave some of my men with you. But why do that? Jacob asked. Just let me find favor in the eyes of my Lord. So that day Esau started on his way back to Seir. I don't know. Jacob, however, went to Succoth, Sukkoth, where he built a place for himself and made shelters for his livestock. That is why the place is called Sukkoth. After Jacob came from Padan Aram, he arrived safely at the city of Shechem in Canaan and camped within sight of the city. For 100 pieces of silver he bought from the sons of Hamor, father of Shechem, the plot of the ground where he pitched his tent. There he set up an altar and called it El-El-O, Israel. El-El-O is E-L space E-L-O-H-E, Israel. Chapter 34. Now Dinah, the daughter of Leah, had born to Jacob, went out to visit the women of the land. When Shechem, son of Hamor, the Hivite, the ruler of that area, saw her, he took her and her. That's messed up. Just took her. His heart was drawn to Dinah, daughter of Jacob. He loved the young woman and spoke tenderly to her. And Shechem said to his father Hamor, Get me this girl as my wife. When Jacob heard that his daughter Dinah had been defiled, his sons were in the fields with his livestock, so he did nothing about it until they came home. Then Shechem's father Hamor went out to talk with Jacob. Meanwhile, Jacob's sons had come in from the fields as soon as they heard what had happened. They were shocked and furious because Shechem had done an outrageous thing in Israel by sleeping with Jacob's daughter. It's pretty outrageous if you ask me too. You don't just take it. I don't care what time this is. Yeah. A thing that should not be done. Verse 8. But Hamor said to them, My son Shechem has his heart set on your daughter. Please give her to him as his wife. Intermarry with us, Give us your daughters and take our daughters for yourselves. Verse 10. You can settle among us. The land is open to you. Live in it, trade in it, and acquire property in it. Then Shechem said to Dinah's father and brothers, let me find favor in your eyes, and I will give you whatever you ask. Make the price for the bride and the gift I am to bring as great as you like, and I'll pay whatever you ask me. Only give me the young woman as my wife. 13. Because their sister Dinah had been defiled, Jacob's son replied deceitfully as they spoke to Shechem and his father Hamor. They said to them, we can't do such a thing. We can't give our sister to a man who is not circumcised. Thought he couldn't anyway. That would be a disgrace to us. We will enter into an agreement with you on one condition only, that you become like us by circumcising all your males. Then we will give you our daughters and take your daughters for ourselves. We'll settle among you and become one people with you. But if you will not agree to be circumcised, we'll take our sister and go. Okay. That's all they could come up with, was make sure all your people circumcised. I can't believe it. Creativity is not in this family. Anyway, verse 18. Their proposal seemed good to Hamor and his son Shechem. The young man, who was the most honored of all his father's family, lost no time in doing what they said, because he was delighted with Jacob's daughter. So Hamor and his son Shechem went to the gate of their city to speak to the men of their city. Whatever. These men are friendly toward us, they said. Let them live in our land and trade in it. The land has plenty of room for them. We can marry their daughters and they can marry ours. But the men will agree to live with us as one people only on the condition that our males be circumcised, as they themselves are. Won't their livestock, their property, and all their other animals become ours? So let us agree to their terms, and they will settle among us. Verse 24. All the men who went out of the city gate agreed with Hamor and his son Shechem, and every male in the city was circumcised. 3 days later, while all of them were still in pain, two of Jacob's sons, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brothers, took their swords and attacked the unsuspecting city, killing every male. Whoa. It's two dudes against a bunch of circumcised niggas. I don't see how that helped them win, but maybe they just that good. I don't know. But anyway, that's what they did. They attacked every male, killed every male. No more men. Nothing but women. 26. They put Hamor and his son Shechem to the sword and took Dinah from Shechem's house and left. The sons of Jacob came upon the dead bodies and looted the city where their city had been defiled. They seized their flocks and herds and donkeys and everything else of theirs in the city and out in the fields. 29. They carried off all their wealth and all their women and children, taking as plunder everything in the houses. Then Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, you have brought trouble on me by making me obnoxious to the Canaanites and Perizzites. Perizzites is Perizzitties. The Canaanites and Perizzites, the people living in this land. We are few in number, and if they join forces against me and attack me, I and my household will be destroyed. But they replied, should he have treated our sister like a prostitute? You know, I'm going to stop it there. If there's nothing else that I take from what just happened, these niggas loyal to their sister. Like, I feel like every man should be this way towards a female in his family. And which, I mean, hey, I'm about that life too. Like, you mess with my You mess with anybody in my family, I'm coming for you. But I don't know. I like that story. I think I'm chapter 34. Chapter 34 in Genesis. I like that story. But yeah, we're gonna stop it there. We read chapter 32 through 34. We only read 2 chapters. We getting there. We're gonna make it all the way through the whole book of Genesis. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna do exactly what this page was meant for, and that is to talk about the serious faults in the human race that we need to work on. I wanted to do the Bible just specifically because it's something we need to work on. Again, I don't believe in it, but the stories in here are just like any other comic book, pretty good stories. I like them. So yeah, Levi and Simeon. I like them niggas. They good in my book. Anyway, poor Dina. God, I feel sorry. I don't like that. I don't like the raping thing. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for this episode of the Bible. Like, comment, subscribe, please. By all means, comment anything that's on your mind. Teach me if you are a teacher on the word. I don't mind. Yeah, we're gonna leave it at that. We're gonna pick back up chapter 35. Yes, chapter 35. Thank you guys for watching. Till next time, I'm out.